What's going on, people? It's Mr. Dove back again with the previous show with rival fans. I hope everyone's fit and well. And yes, Nottingham Forest are back in action, and we're back on travels yet again, and this time away to Brighton, another big game. I've got a special guest coming soon. That'll be Joe from Urban Obsession. So, as well, people, get in the comments. What is your predictions for tomorrow's game? It's a 7:30 kickoff as well. I think it's on Prime. I think so, but I don't know if it is. Put in the comments below if I'm wrong or right. I don't know. If you are new to my channel, please do hit the like button. Subscribe if you know I'm 200 away from 9k. So people, like I said, please subscribe. Like I said, it's going to be a massive achievement for me if I can get past the 200 mark as well. Before I get Joe in, like I said, people, I'm going to the game tomorrow as well. So if there's any Forest fans that are going to the game, if you want to get on a vlog, please do. I'll be going with Malcolm, Gary, meeting Des there as well. Is there anything else I need to know? Like I said, it's a massive week as well. We've got Brighton tomorrow, got Liverpool on Saturday. So massive, loads of content will be coming out this week. So like I said, people, if you do want to come on the channel, please do. But yeah, people. Right, as well as I've got a special guest coming in at Album, so please give some love to Joe. Like I said, he does his own YouTube channel as well. So let me bring him in now. How you doing, Joe?
Hi, you're right, mate.
I'm not too bad. It could be better days. It could be better days. But how are you anyway? How's your season?
Yeah, good, mate. The season so far has been a very strange one. Started on cloud 9 and then everything went kaput with Graham Potter leaving, obviously, and two big players in Yves Bissouma and Cucurella leaving for big money, which we're happy with, but hoping to reinvest that in the coming windows, and I think we have done that quite well anyway. When we have lost big players like Ben White, for example,
big player.
Yeah, we always seem to replace well. Even in the backroom staff and the manager. So yeah, we're in a bit of a new dawn at the moment with Roberto De Zerbi, but
that's what we'll talk about later as well, because I think it's been a massive. It's been like I said, people. If you've known the story, Brighton season has been not as crazy as ours, but things have been changing with. They had Potter, he's gone to Chelsea, and now they brought a new manager in. But that's something we'll talk about in the show as well. Before we do talk about the game, Joe. Like I said, talk about your YouTube channel, please.
Yeah, so we are Albion Obsessed. We do post-match reaction podcasts, normally about 40 minutes to an hour's long. We also do other content such as me and the other host that we've got, Tom. He's a massive football shirt collector, so we love to delve into football shirts as well. And so if you're into that kind of stuff, do drop us a follow. Yeah, mostly it's about Brighton and Hove Albion, so there won't be any Nottingham Forest shirts.
People, like I said, if you can, just do a massive favour for me. If you can, is links in the title. Just click on Albion Obsessed and just subscribe to the channel. Like I said, it's always good. If you're a Forest fan, good to hear about other opinions about different clubs. So, like I said, go and subscribe to them and show some love. Right, let's start. Like I said, it's been a crazy. Is it three or four seasons that you've been in the Premier League? It's been.
We are into our. Hold on, let me do the maths.
Third.
Twice, Graham Potter 3. We're into our 6th season in the Premier League.
Oh my days, that's long.
Yeah, no, it is really crazy, and I don't know if you're familiar with Brighton and Hove Albion's story as a club.
Yes, I do. I know a little bit.
25 years ago, we almost weren't a club. And then to think that we're fighting with the big boys week in, week out, getting draws and wins against Man City, Liverpool, people like that is, it's still dreamland for us. And, people say, oh, we've got to sort of move on from our history. But I don't think so. I think it's a massive part of us. And it just makes going to the football for me so special because, it might not have been here. So I just appreciate every single second, every single kick of the ball, win, lose or draw, rain or shine. So yeah.
Before I said you started well, to be fair, but as we know, Potter's gone to Chelsea. But what did Graham Potter do to your club before he left Chelsea? Like I said, he stapled your club. I know you had ex-Nottingham Forest manager Chris Hughton as your manager as well. But the story from the Brighton, it's been crazy, but it's been good at the same time, hasn't it?
Yeah, obviously with Chris Hughton, it was important for us to just stay in the division. You know what Chris Hughton football is like,
Yes,
and
we do.
you know,
Boys fans, don't comment. Don't comment on Chris Hughton. Please don't.
I'm not gonna discredit the man because he's the one that got us to the Premier League.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
I have full respect for him, and we needed a change at a time where people sort of were umming and ahhing whether it was time for Chris Hughton to go. And then Graham Potter came in. No one really knew who he was. Managed a season at Swansea, and he's changed the philosophy of football at our football club. And it's been a really important process for us to be, looking at the next coach and who can take us to that next level. And that's what I love about our club. It's always forward thinking, and we have no ceiling, and it's really exciting times.
Graham Potter left, and then you brought in your new manager, and I don't know who it is now. You need to talk to me about him because from outside looking in, like what Graham Potter achieved at your club is something that you should be proud of as a Brighton fan. But as a fan, you brought this new manager in, and like I said, I don't know enough about him. Talk about this new manager because I don't know nothing about him.
Yeah, I mean, we were pretty much in the same position when he was appointed. When Graham left, the timing was awful. And we were scrambling to find a new manager. But what's good about our club is that we're always looking for the next candidate. So we're not left in a really awful situation. Roberto De Zerbi's name come to the top of the list, and he was appointed. And he's a guy that's played and overachieved with Sassuolo in Italy. Got 2 consecutive 8th place finishes in the Serie A, and then he went to Shakhtar Donetsk, and managed in the Champions League. And if we're a club, as I said, forward thinking and want to get into European competition, then it's good to have a man that's managed at that level. But we're still learning about him ourselves. It's been 3 games with him, a really impressive 3-3 draw at Anfield.
Yeah.
And then 2 games that have been really frustrating for us because we haven't played awful. We've had a lot of chances, and it's just about that new system clicking. So for our sake, I'm hoping that clicks tomorrow.
I know. You said it's 3 games in, but are you happy that you got that kind of manager in, or do you feel that you need someone experienced? But what's your opinion on like? Are you happy with him so far?
Yeah, so far so good. It's really early days. From what I've heard of him on his press conferences, really promising stuff. He doesn't strike me as a guy that's arrogant or a guy that's gonna, take our club in the wrong direction. And he's got all the right, the staff members. He's got all the right ideas to take our club forward, and you have to get behind that as a fan. And yeah, as I say, we're 3 games deep with him. So it's just about a process of just watching and seeing what he can do for us.
Joe, you are 7th in the league.
Yeah.
Like I said, you got this new manager. Do you think you're overachieving? I know it's way early days with 10 games in, but do you think like you've overachieved because, like I said, I don't know. Have you brought any players in? What players have you brought in? Because, like I said, I have watched Brighton, but I don't know what players that you brought in, and have they been successful as you know?
Yeah, so obviously, as you know, we lost 2 massive players, and the thing for us was to replace them. And in left wing back, we got a guy in called Pervis Estupinian, who I believe played for Villarreal before us, and got to I believe it was a Europa League final with Villarreal.
Is that left back?
Yeah, he's at left back, and
because Forest were after him. Do you know that?
Really? Well, there you go.
I know because we was linked with 120, 250 players, and he was one of them. And then I saw him out of nowhere, and he's gone to Brighton the next day. I was like, okay, that's one player out of the list. So now he's gone to Brighton. But carry on, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, he's been impressive so far. There's a few question marks around him, but Premier League, you've got to get used to it. A guy that's come from La Liga, so it's just about time for him, and I'm sure he'll come good. I've been impressed with him going forwards, but defensively not so much. And in terms of midfield replacements, we got in Billy Gilmore from Chelsea. We haven't really seen much of him. I'm sure that might frustrate him a little bit, obviously, because he came in under Graham Potter, and then like 2 days later, Graham Potter left to Chelsea, and Billy Gilmore came from Chelsea. So it's a little bit like waving as you go past each other. But we've got a really good youngster in Moises Caicedo, who's filled the Basuma role really well. And yeah, what it's been for us is we've had a lot of players out on loan last season, and they've come back in, and they're getting their chance in the squad now, like Matoma, Undav, people like that. So we haven't done a lot of recruitment. We've done a lot of recruitment for the future. But we haven't done a lot of recruitment for now, and that does frustrate a few fans. Obviously, losing Neil Maupay as well. We didn't get another striker.
I thought after him as well, so we've been linked with everyone. So
you were after everyone. You were after me. I got a phone call. But yeah, it's been frustrating that we haven't replaced in some key areas. But I'm a very patient fan, and I'm willing to give those who have come back off of loan and youth systems a go and just see where that goes. And then in January, we can reassess with our new manager.
There's 81 people in. If you've got any questions for Joe regarding Brighton, please put in the comments. I will ask Joe. There's one from, I think, where is it? From Gary. Where is it? I can't find it. Gary says, have Brighton got any injury concerns tomorrow, Joe?
Karu Matoma came off against Brentford after the game in crutches and a foot brace, so he won't be playing tomorrow or against City next weekend. Other than that, we're pretty okay. Other than the long-term injuries, like Jakob Moda, who we haven't seen for what feels like 4 years. But no, other than that, we're in full health and ready to go and hopefully get a home win.
No, don't say that, because Forest's record has just been crazy. Joe, as you know, I like to tell more rival fans about, Forest have brought in 110 players and all that. So as a opponent, what's your thoughts on what's happening with Forest?
It's a strange one, because it was quite the surprise that you went up last season after the start you had, and then Cooper.
Everyone thought the same.
Yeah,
everyone thought the same.
Cooper rallied the troops, and it was phenomenal. And when I was watching the playoff final, I wanted you guys to go up, because I thought it would be good for a historic club to come in. What I find a little bit sad is that the players that got you there haven't had the chance to be a squad together, and you've brought in so many different players, and things don't seem to be gelling. And I know you obviously you're the goalkeeper last season, Bamba. I don't know what happened with him. Was he on loan?
No, he wanted to go. He
wanted to go. That confuses me. We had the same situation with David Stockdale when we got promoted. That really confuses me. Like how?
Yeah, didn't he go Fulham?
Who, Stockdale?
Stockdale, because I remember the story. Like, you got promoted and he left for
he left later.
Birmingham or Burnley?
Birmingham.
Oh, Birmingham. Championship.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. He went back to the Championship, and he said it was family reasons, which I sort of understand. But when you get a club to the Premier League, and you're offered a 2-year deal, then and you're the goalkeeper that got him there, why wouldn't you want to stay? And that's what confuses me with Bamba as well. Like, he was so passionate.
Samba. Yeah, Bamba.
He was so he was so passionate in all of your games last season, and like his celebrations when you got promoted, and I was just really confused as to why he wasn't in your squad. But it's an interesting one, because it's sort of like a Fulham approach with buying so many players and spending so much money, that I hope it goes a different way for you than it has done for Fulham. But yeah, it just doesn't strike me as the way to do business in the Premier League if you're trying to establish yourself.
We've got a question for you. I said, people, we've got a question for Joe. Please do. This is from Z1R. Are Brighton fans content with being established mid-Premier side, as this was what I love for Forest in the medium term? We'll say where do you think Brighton will finish at the end of the show? Where do you think what's your aim this season for Brighton?
To be honest, as I said, I'm a
European
very
football? European football?
I would love that, but I'm a very very humble fan, and I honestly say to you that just staying in the Premier League is enough for me. Obviously, I know we finished ninth last season, and as I said, we're a forward-thinking club, but the Premier League is the toughest league in the world, and to stay in that league is an absolute privilege for a club like us, for a club like you guys, for a club like Burnley or Fulham or anyone like that that's of the same stature. Um, but yeah, we have to think forwards, and I don't think European football is achievable this season. Based on the changes that we've had, it's going to take a while for it to click. So 10th, 12th, I would be happy with.
Okay. People, any questions for Scott, for Joe, please do. Two more questions, Joe. Like I said, I've always said to rival fans, where at the start of the season, where do you think Brighton will finish? You're seventh in the league now. Where do you think you'll end up in the league? So start season, where do you think you finish now, and where do you think you'll end up? So what's your opinion on it?
Yeah, so at the start of the season, I probably thought that we could have matched last season's finish of a ninth place, which was phenomenal for us, and we were celebrating on the final day like it was like we won the league. It was just such a phenomenal thing for us to achieve. So that again would be great. But now I think anywhere above 12th, as I say, I would be happy with the change of manager. So I if I had to make a prediction now, I'd say we finish 11th.
11th table. You take that. You'll take that. I thought first, Joe, like I said, I know when Potter left, there was a little rumor. I don't know if you know that Steve Cooper was linked with your club. Would you have been happy with it if I'm happy he didn't? Steve Cooper was at Brighton, because I know he's like a Potter
Yeah,
thing. So if he did, would you have been happy with it?
he's a great young manager. He's got a team promoted from the Championship to the Premier League, which is one of the hardest things to do. And even Graham Potter didn't achieve that with Swansea. I believe he got in and around the playoffs. I'm not sure if he got there. I can't remember that far back. Yeah, I would have been okay with it. As I say, I'm a very patient guy, and anyone that comes in, I would have given them the time to show what they can do. He's proven that he can motivate a team and achieve with a team. So why couldn't he have done that with us?
Last one for Joe. People in the comments, what is your prediction for tomorrow's game? As you know, I'm going to the game as well. Never been Brighton before, so before Joe leaves, I will tell him what's Brighton like, because like I said, I've never been there. Joe, last question. What is your score prediction for tomorrow's game? And as well, people getting comments, what's your prediction?
Oh, it's a tough one. As I say,
the thing we've got. I think how many times have we beat Brighton? Once at your ground. I think we beat 3-2.
Yeah, no, I remember the defeat as well, and it wasn't fun to watch. I think that was in Houghton's second season with us, but I can't recall that. I'm expecting a win, but maybe that's big-headed or deluded of me to think that I'm entitled enough to say, yeah, Brighton are going to beat Nottingham Forest. You've had a tough start, and your players are going to be motivated enough to come to the Amex and give us a really good game. I've got no doubt about that. So it's going to be a really tough game, but if I had to do a prediction now, I'd say 2-0 to Brighton.
Oh, so Joe's going for it, a 2-0 win for Brighton. People in the comments, do you agree with Joe? I think there's one more question before you do leave, Joe. Where is it? It's from Scott. Mr. asked Albion if it's unrealistic for them to challenge for a good cup run and maybe a European place.
Yeah, we'd love a cup run. We had a cup run in Houghton's last season. We got to the semi-finals of the FA Cup. We played Man City in the semi-final, so that's a pretty much a guaranteed loss anyway. We gave them a really good game. To be fair, Kyle Walker should have been sent off for a headbutt on Johan Bash, and we had a great day out. And had we have got to the final, I think we maybe even could have won the FA Cup, because it was either Wolves or somebody else, Wolves or Watford, I think it was, and I think Watford got to the final. So I honestly think if we'd managed a surprise against Man City, we could have gone on and won the FA Cup that year, which is mental. But I'd like a cup run, but the most important thing for me is the league.
So focus on the league more than cup. But we know what, Joe, right? This question a lot for me, and I've always wanted to ask this question to a Brighton fan. I've asked a Crystal Palace fan. The rival, like, you know what I'm going to ask. This rivalry between Brighton and Crystal Palace, people, I don't understand it. Can you tell me, right? And us Forest fans, like our rivals Derby, but what is the rivalry between you and Crystal Palace? Because I don't understand it.
I'll paint you a picture. Let's go back to the 1970s.
I wasn't born then.
Neither was I. There were two managers called Alan Mullery, who managed us, and Terry Venables, who managed Crystal Palace. And they both played at Spurs together. I believe Venables was the captain and Mullery was the vice captain. They didn't get on, and that carried through to their managerial career. And they had a bit of like banter on the touchlines, or a bit of aggro on the touchline, and that obviously filtered through to the fans defending each manager. And it was at the end of the game, Alan Mullery was getting shouted at by the Crystal Palace fans, and he walked up to the stand and he emptied his pocket and threw change on the floor, and he said, "That's how much your club's worth." And from there, the rivalry stemmed, and it's just one of those historic things where two managers hated each other, and now we hate each other for good. So, it's a really weird one.
So, people, there's where the rivalry is, because I never understood what was the rival. Understand? Because I know a few Crystal Palace told me, but it's good to know.
We actually have we've got our nickname because of Crystal Palace. So they were before we were the Dolphins. And Crystal Palace were chanting "Eagles, Eagles" at us, and we replied with "Seagulls, Seagulls." And from that moment, we were the Seagulls.
So there you go, people. There's the rivals, because, like I said, I didn't understand it at all, because, like I said, Derby's our rivals, Leicester are not our rivals. So
I still don't understand it, to be honest. I just hate them.
Before you do, like I said, there's 85 people in. I know that Joe did talk about his YouTube channel. Like, before you do go, just talk about the people, how to subscribe to your channel.
Yeah, you can find us across all social media using @AlbionObsessed. As I say, we do football shirt content, Brighton Hove Albion content. So yeah, if you're up for it and you want to listen to our thoughts after this game, we will be uploading that later this week. So yeah, do drop us a follow, and we'll hope to see you there.
Yeah, so people, if you can, it's in the title. Make sure everyone subscribes to Joe's channel, Albion Obsessed. But tomorrow, big game for both clubs, and hopefully, are you going tomorrow? Because I know you've not been feeling well. So
I hope I'm going tomorrow. I'm going to see how I am after a good night's sleep. Hopefully the little one gives me a good night's sleep. But we will see. Yeah, hopefully I'm there at the opposite end, chanting stuff at you.
Oh. You only can dream. That's all you can do, Joe. Only dream. Joe, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for coming on, and hopefully you get a stuffing tomorrow and Forest can win the first away game this season.
Well, yeah, we'll see. Good luck. Anyway.
Right, cheers, Joe. Thank you very much. Cheers, dude. Right, so that's Joe from Albion Obsessed. Make sure you do subscribe to his channel. Before I do go, people, like I said, I am 200 away from the 9K. So if you are, please do go and hit the red button, subscribe if it's completely free. If you want to be a member as well, it is £2.99 as well, and you can come on the channel if you want to come on. Please do. If you've never come on with DoreOnTour, I've always encouraged Forest fans, have a voice, say something. If it's positive, negative, it is what it is. So if you can, support the channel, and again, help me out. Right, I'm going. Right, people, like I said, I'm off tomorrow to Brighton. I'm leaving at 10 o'clock with Gary and Malcolm. So I'll be there. If there's any Forest fans there tomorrow as well, get on my vlog. First time I'm going to Brighton, so another grind ticked off. Right, I'm going, people. See you tomorrow. And like I said before, I do leave. Please do hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you tomorrow at Albion. Peace and love. Up the Forest.